I'm really excited about the people that are sitting on the panel and about what we will see today in terms of the film with Faith's Reunion, how women deal with relationship situations and how we navigate those courses, whether we're HIV positive or whether we're just looking to be healthy in our relationships.
Ladies each doing their part to end AIDS in our lifetime, which is now something that we can truly see and work for together.
And didn't want to accept the treatment because they didn't want to confide in their family. And understanding that there are more than 60 agencies at the table, agencies that have traditionally sat at this table, and new agencies.
So I started thinking it's been a long time since I had a test myself. So I went in the back, and you're right, those are the longest 20 minutes in the world.
The body is not calamity. The body is not a math test. The body is not a wrong answer. The body is not a failed class.
312 people in Louisiana were newly diagnosed with HIV. 29% were women.
Number one, I have 2 daughters. I have 4 granddaughters.
Showers to the soil. Rage if you must until you come to a boil. Then cook something. When fear is staring down at you, you stare back at it and slap it out your way.
Born in Shreveport, Louisiana in the 70s, she always dreamed of getting out of the ghetto and becoming an actress. Priscilla grew up in a very poor neighborhood surrounded by drugs, gangs, and violence, but had a mother who instilled in her the importance of getting an education and striving for a better life. Priscilla A moved to Dallas area about 10 years ago. She is an inspiring filmmaker who is hoping to one day see her stories on the big screen. Since early childhood, she has been involved in the entertainment industry as a model and actress. When she wrote and produced her first independent feature film, she found that she had a passion and talent for being behind the camera as well as in front of it. With encouragement from professionals in the industry and the guidance from her Heavenly Father, she is on course to make films that bring awareness to issues that face our world today through entertaining and provocative format, reaching beyond your visual, beyond your mind, and to your soul.
Thank you, Olivia. Thank you for that great introduction, and thank all of you all for being here. And I want to thank Ms. Sylvia Andrews and the Art Foundation for allowing me to be here and participate in this event as well. When I started writing this film, Faith's Reunion, I didn't realize how much it would change my life or the impact that it would have on the people that watch it. I wasn't even really sure what the climax would be. I set out to write a story about true unconditional love. And by divine inspiration, I decided to make one of the leading characters, HIV positive, and let that be the complication that was actually testing their love. Once I did that, I had to stop and think about how I've been affected by HIV and AIDS. When I was in high school, I had an older friend who was in her mid-20s. She was a leader in a teenage group whose focus was to keep girls out of the streets and in a more positive environment around older women and other girls. Her name was Sim, and we used to hang out at her apartment after school and just sit around and talk. After a while, she got sick, and we didn't really think about it too much. We didn't think it was a big deal. But then she kept getting sick and missing meetings. And when we would come over, she'd be lying down or tired a lot. Time passed, and she didn't seem to be getting any better. Shortly after that, I joined the military, and I left for basic training. When I got back, Sint had already died, just that quickly, from AIDS. One of the other girls said that Sint had confided in her that she had gotten AIDS from her children's father, and she wasn't even 30 years old. That was when HIV and AIDS became real for me. A couple of years ago, something similar happened to my sister's best friend. They started out in ECE together. That's early childhood, when you're like 3 or 4. She got sick, and no one really thought anything about that. But then she started staying in a lot more. She was getting sick more often until she got to the point where she was bedridden. It wasn't until then that she confided in my sister that she had AIDS. She too had gotten it from her kid's father, and she was too ashamed to tell anyone, including her family and her friends. She was afraid to get tested, and she was too afraid and too embarrassed to seek treatment until it was too late. She didn't tell my sister until 2 days before she died, when she asked her to look after her kids for her. And she too wasn't even 30 years old. Even though it seems that HIV has been forgotten, it hasn't gone away. People are testing positive daily, and they are suffering in silence from fear, shame, or the stigma associated with the condition. And they shouldn't have to. This could happen to anyone, and everyone deserves to be treated with dignity, compassion, and respect. HIV-positive people can live fulfilling lives with love and happiness, just like everyone else. I'm hoping that this short film brings awareness to everyone, regardless of age, regardless of race, regardless of gender or sexual preference, that HIV is a condition that is preventable yet treatable, a condition that does not change a person's value. The stigma surrounding this condition is debilitating, and we need to fight that stigma. We need to be less judgmental of those living HIV positive and be more supportive, understanding, and accepting of our brothers and sisters. I hope this film motivates people to get involved, donate funds, volunteer their time, protect themselves, or to just change their perspective. So I hope those of you that are watching the film today do one or maybe all of those things. Thanks, and I hope you enjoy the movie.
I mean, we have to be really careful because I'm HIV positive.
Angel.
I'm on medications that keep my viral load pretty much undetectable.
That I talked about tonight were two women, two young ladies that I knew that died from AIDS. And just to go back to the very issue, the biggest problem that I think they were facing was the stigma and the shame. And that's why they didn't get tested until much later to after they were really, really sick. And then even then didn't want to accept the treatment because they didn't want to confide in their family and their friends. And I think one of the things that we need to do, or one of the things that I'm trying to do to kind of fight that and tackle that issue, is to put a project like this out that kind of makes a person see that this situation happens, that it can happen to anyone, and to think about what they would do if they're in that situation. And as you saw in the film, Angel's main goal was to not just disclose her status with the man that she was in love with, but to protect him too, and to let him know how to be safe, how to be able to have safe sex. So what I tend to do is put projects like this up on the internet. Face Reunion is on YouTube, so anyone can go out and see it wherever they are. It's not just for people to come to events like this to see it. You can tell a friend, you can tell a family member, you can post it on your page, put it on different organization pages, just so that it's out there as a vehicle for other people to be able to see and to be able to think about being HIV positive or meeting someone who is, and what they can do to protect themselves, protect other people, and more importantly, or just as importantly, how they would treat that person if they are disclosed that information.